talking produce tips today. Produce tips like shopping for produce. There's few things in life I love more than shopping for produce. So we're going to have fun here. In the comments, let me know where are you coming from? What type of diabetes are you living with? And we're going to have a lot of fun today. Get your pen and paper out because this is going to be some life-changing information if you take action on it, right? We're all about action takers here and taking action. So that's going to be super important. I can give you all this golden information, but if you don't do anything with it, if you don't take any action, then there's no benefit. But my Lord, this is a Keat mango. Keat mangoes right now, they're in season, okay? So we're going to talk about that. I got 3 specific produce tips. But I want to know where you're coming from. What type of diabetes are you living with? D is in the house. D, love you too. Glad to have you with us. Type 2, fantastic. Good. You're in the right place, okay? You're in the right place. So I also love to see you guys using the chat box to celebrate your wins. I would love everybody who's listening to celebrate a win this week. We got Bonnie, type 2 from Ohio. Welcome. Glad to have you with us. I want to know what's gone well this week. Did you do some walking outside on a regular basis? Did you go to the doctor and see your A1C dropped? Let me know. I want to hear some wins. So we got on YouTube, Taz Girl, type 2. We have Deb, North Carolina, no diabetes. She just loves us. That's fantastic. Lisa, type 2, England. Lisa, you're in the right place. Glad to have you with us. Excellent. So for anybody who's new to mastering diabetes, what do we do here? We help you reverse insulin resistance. We help you maximize your insulin sensitivity. And for those of you who stick with us for a little bit here, I have a special treat for you. It's going to be free, and it's going to be really helpful for your steps to reverse insulin resistance. That's what we're about. So, Luis, you're new. Luis, tell me, where are you coming from and what type of diabetes are you living with? Very curious, all right? We have Mona from Georgia. Welcome. Glad to have you with us. We have Miss Wandy, type 2. You're in the right place. May Van Dorp, type 2, Sacramento. Welcome. Okay, D, you're celebrating that you're eating more greens. That is huge. That is so huge. I can't. That is so huge. And I'll actually probably elaborate on that a little bit later on because there's a couple questions I want to ask you guys. But I really want to hear from Luis. You're new. Where are you coming from? What type of diabetes are you living with? And during the show today, I'm actually going to be probably eating a little bit of fruit if it's okay with you guys. So here's the first tip, okay? And then we'll get into some questions. We said PRG TV, hello. We worked out yesterday and joined Planet Fitness today. That's fantastic. Okay, Ramona, now it's all about doing it consistently. All right, tape 2, Manchester, England, UK. Okay. All right, guys. Lisa started low-fat plant-based diet. That's huge. Lisa, excellent, excellent. Ramona is new. I love that. Welcome. Excellent. Okay, Cecile, Sunland, California, type 2. Excellent. Okay, so guys, we're going to have, I love it when we can have some of these personal interactions and I can ask you guys some questions and you guys get back to me. So I'm going to do that with a few of you in a little bit here. But first off, I want to cover the topic of today's show, and then we'll get into having some personalized fun and answering questions. Okay, so I got 3 tips for produce shopping, okay, for picking out the best produce. Okay, number 1, you need to put yourself in an environment with the best produce options. That is number 1. So here's the question. I want to know in the chat box, how many different grocery stores in your hometown have you been to in the past, let's say, month? In the past 30 days, how many different grocery stores in your hometown have you been to? Okay? I'm very curious because this is part of the art of getting the best produce. Okay? Okay, so D says 3, Bonnie says 2. All right? And so when people come into our coaching program, Lydia says I've been to 4. Lisa says 3. Okay, these are actually some pretty good answers. This is probably 4 from Sherry. Okay, very good. This is actually good, guys. I'm impressed. A lot of people here that we only have one. Okay, that's fine. Sometimes in a small town, maybe there's not that many options. Okay, but here's the thing. A lot of people live in a big enough city or close enough to a big enough city where there are many, many grocery stores. And there are also many ethnic grocery stores, ethnic markets. So it might be like a Mexican market. It might be a Oriental market, right? There's all these different types of, sort of unconventional places to go buy food. Now, taking the time to explore and going outside of your normal shopping routine can be an absolute game changer. So, for example, right now, this is what I'm actually eating for lunch right now. I'm eating this papaya, okay? This papaya is extraordinary. It is so good. It is so perfectly ripe, okay? I'm on the road right now, and so I went to a specific store. It was called HEB. That's a store that had this, okay? In this town I'm in right now, it's Austin, Texas. I've been to many stores, and I will tell you, there is one store, one brand that has the best papaya. The HEB stores have the best papaya, okay? Other markets do not have good papayas, okay? So you have to take the time to learn which stores have some of the best items. And it might feel like a lot of work. I'm actually just going to take the seeds out because I'm going to start eating this. But it might feel like a lot of work to go to so many different stores, okay? But it's worth it. When you find that great produce item like these papayas and they become like a staple for you, it is absolutely worth it. But you have to be willing to put in some effort. And if you just said, you know what, once per week, you could even do once per month if you wanted to, but at least some cadence throughout the course, consistently going to different stores in your hometown, okay? That is going to open up your options and you're going to be blown away, okay? And then you also, you have to do it in different seasons, okay? So persimmon season's coming up. The best persimmons are going to be at the Asian markets, okay? And there might be multiple Asian markets in the town that you live in. So you're going to have to go to several of them, okay? So that's tip number one, all right? And I see some questions coming in, and I'm going to answer these questions as we go through, okay? All right, so number two. So once you've done the work to put yourself in, you walking into stores where you have a better set of options, okay? Now, tip number two is to understand the difference between foods that don't need to ripen and foods that do need to ripen. So it's ripeness awareness. Tip number two is ripeness awareness at the stage of shopping. Okay, so let me give you an example. Again, I'm going to go back to this papaya example. Okay, papaya is a particular fruit that it will ripen off the tree. It definitely will, but you don't want to buy a super green papaya. When you're at the store, you don't want to buy a super green papaya. It's not a good idea. You want to buy one that already has some color, okay? So, for example, I bought this yesterday. I bought it at the store. Do you see how it's already, yellow and orangish? I know we're talking a lot about papaya today, but these are principles, okay, that you're going to learn over time about different fruits and how you will select them at the grocery store. So papaya, for example, that's a fruit that the ripeness at the store matters. It absolutely matters. Same thing with mangoes. I bought this mango yesterday. This mango already has give. Like, okay, let me show you. If I put my finger into this, it's got give, okay? It already had that at the store. That's good. It's a good sign. Mangoes, again, they're kind of like in the middle. They'll ripen pretty well. But again, if you can get one that's leaning towards ripe already, like looking, it's giving you the indication that it's going to ripen. Some certain mangoes that have to churn color. If it already churned color a little bit, that's a good sign. So that means that's the one you're going to want at the store. The decisions you're making at the store is going to impact the quality of the fruit that you're going to be eating throughout the week, right? And ripeness is essential to good flavor. Okay? It's absolutely essential. Like if you want your fruit to taste good, you have to be good at buying the fruit. Like it's just how it goes. All right? So we talked about number one, your environment. We talked about number two, the ripeness. Now, I want to do a couple more points on number two here. Okay? So there are certain fruits where they're not going to ripen anymore. Yeah, papaya is great for digestion. They're not going to ripen anymore, all right? Fruits have the highest bioenergy. It's crazy when eating only fruits can do things. Farmer don't want people to know this. That's true. That's fruit. That's true. Fruit is powerful. Fruit is healing. And fruit is great for optimal blood glucose management, okay? All right, so let's continue this conversation. So there are certain fruits, when you buy them at the store, it doesn't matter whether because apples are an example. Apples, they're pretty much like, you can look at the Fuji apples, of course, like look for the nice ones that don't have like the dents and the bruises and whatnot, but like, it's not going to change. It's not going to like ripen more when you bring it home. Same thing with grapes. Same thing with berries, blueberries, raspberries. They are what they are. You're just trying to pick the highest quality one. Like it's not really a conversation about ripeness. Okay. Same thing with like dates. You buy dates at the grocery store. They're not changing. The dates are the dates. Same thing with figs. Figs are not going to ripen more. Like you want to pick the best, softest, juiciest figs at the store. Okay. Somebody says cantaloupe, peaches, and watermelon are difficult to know when they are ripe. Okay, so here, let me give you a key tip here. All right. So you go to the store and you're trying to buy some peaches. Okay. And there's a huge pile of peaches. Okay. You want to do your best to lightly I'm not telling you to like, damage the fruit at the fruit store, right? At the produce market. I'm telling you to lightly touch it, really lightly. Touch like 10, 15, 20 peaches. If every single one of them is just rock hard, that's a red flag. It's a red flag that this batch just might not ripen very well. They might stay rock hard and just never ripen. It's a possibility. If a couple of them start to have like a little bit of give, that's a good sign. It's a good sign that you could probably get pretty much any of them, and they'll probably get to that stage of being pretty ripe. That's for peaches. That's for nectarines. Things like pluots and plums. Again, like they're not going to ripen that much off. They're going to maybe get a little bit softer, but not really. All right, and then cantaloupe, watermelon, those ones, they're pretty much universally going to be okay. That's fruit. The way it's harvested and then sent to the stores, that's a fruit that doesn't really get messed up. It doesn't really like not ripen. Okay, so you should be good with those. How do you figure out kiwi's ripe? Mine always seem to be tart. All right, so kiwi, that's another one of those fruits where sometimes they just don't ripen very well. They just don't ripen well. Golden kiwis, in my experience, seem to be much more consistently ripening on your counter, whereas the green ones are a little bit more inconsistent. So that's just the reality. That's the game of kiwis. And again, you want to try and, if you like, when you go to the store, a lot of the produce has usually been there for at least a couple of days. Like it didn't like come off the fruit truck and then the only thing on the shelf is something that they picked off the truck yesterday. That's pretty rare. You have to be in a really, really high volume store for things to not be sitting there. So my point is a batch of kiwis should have been sitting there for a little bit. And if you start giving a little squeeze to each one, if none of them are soft, that's similar to the peach situation, it's probably not going to be good. There should be a couple in there with some indication that this batch is actually going to ripen. Okay? All right, so do you have to go slow, though? So, Heather, I would love to get into the details of this. Let me know what type of diabetes you're living with. Are you using any medications? Let me know. Okay, so before we get into the final tip here, I do want you guys to know that we have a free guide for you, okay? It's the Foolproof Natural Recipe Guide. You want to get this thing for free? You just have to write the word guide in the chat box on Facebook, or you can email us, or you could DM us on Instagram. That's how you're going to get this guide. And what this is it's actually like it's a challenge, and it's a challenge where you get to be provided with recipes for dinner meals, because dinner is the meal that people struggle with the most. They get pretty good at breakfast, they can kind of navigate lunch, and then dinner becomes really, really hard. So just write the word guide on Facebook, and you will get this foolproof natural recipe guide. It's really cool. It's got a bunch of amazing recipes. It's got some science in there as well. June, you're on YouTube. You won't get it on YouTube. You have to write this on Facebook. Okay? So write it on Facebook. Just write the word guide in the chat box, and we'll send it to you. So it's our gift, and it's free, and it's life-changing if you put it into action, if you're an action taker. All right? So no medications right now. I tried Ozempic and metformin, no good. Good chance I have type 2 right now. Been fat-free for 2 weeks now. Okay, that's great. Heather, the number one thing you got to do is, first off, I just want to make a clear teaching point for everybody here. I know what you're trying to say, Heather, and I'm confident you're aware, but I just want for everybody else to know. There's no such thing as a fat-free diet, okay? There's fat in this papaya that I'm eating, okay? There's fat in lettuce. There's fat in beans. There's fat in potatoes. There's fat in apples. There's fat in oranges. There's fat in every whole food. I mean, and it's amazing because it all adds up. It all adds up to provide a significant amount of essential fatty acids and what your body needs, okay? So, Heather, what's going to be key for you is definitely keeping your fat down, right? Making sure your diet is full of whole foods, making sure you're moving your body consistently, and making sure you're getting greens and non-starchy vegetables, okay? And based on what you're saying about trying Ozempic and you think you might have type 2, my assumption, you can tell me if I'm wrong, is that you might want to drop a few pounds. And if that's the case, you're going to be looking to drop about 1 pound a week, okay? That's what you're looking for here. All right. So, and then patience is your friend. Patience is your friend, and eating slowly is also your friend. All right. Is quinoa and lentils okay then? Yeah, quinoa and lentils if you're eating them with greens and non-starchy vegetables. So the recipes in this guide, we have the perfect proportion of whole carbohydrate-rich food plus the greens and non-starchy vegetables. Sometimes it's both, sometimes it's one or the other, but they're essential. And that's what this guide is all about. So, and chewing your meals, taking your time with your meals. That's important. Okay. All right. So we talked about the produce store, getting to the right stores. We talked about this awareness about ripening when you are picking out the produce at the store. Okay. Number 3 is going to be how you manage your produce at home. All right. So, for example, oftentimes people who are brand new to this, they'll take tomatoes and put them in the fridge. Tomatoes don't belong in the fridge. If you want something, let's say you want your bananas to ripen, okay? Take your bananas and put them at the highest point of your home. Hot air rises. So you'll see some people, they have bananas on their stair step. The ones that they want to ripen, they'll be up towards the top. Hot air rises, and you can sort of control how certain things ripen. Something like papaya, you want to leave it on your counter. Sometimes you want to put it in a sunny place, right? So you got to be diligent in managing your produce. And also, when you start eating a lot of produce, it's really important to avoid food waste. You're going to reduce food waste. And part of that is I want you to literally touch every piece of produce within a 24-hour period. So I like to do it, a couple hours before I go to bed. It's like an after dinner thing or before bed thing. I just look at the fruit that I have and figure out, okay, what do I need to do here? Like, do I need to put this in the fridge? Is there a part about this that's bad? Like, how's this fruit? Oh yeah, this is ripening. I'm gonna take the ripe stuff and sort of like put it over the side because I got to eat this tomorrow. It just gives you an awareness of what's going on, and also look in your fridge. What's going on with the green situation? A day-to-day awareness and thinking through and some planning for the next day is really, really important. Okay. Is it okay to eat before going to bed as long as it's fruit? So D, this is going to be based on your goals. It's not ideal. It's not ideal. You want to have a nice gap before going to bed, but it's much better if you're having a craving, you're hungry. It's better to eat some fruit before going to bed than some ice cream, right? So it's really about where are you? What are your goals? What are your challenges? And that's what our coaching program is all about. That's what we do here at Mastering Diabetes. But with that said, it's a good idea to try and plan your day and start orientating your food decisions towards how do you eat the bulk of your calories earlier in the day so you're not so hungry at night. And maybe at nighttime it's just a tea or a small snack. Okay? All right, so I'm going to answer some questions here. Renee says, going into fall/winter, what are the best fruits to look for? Mangoes, blueberries, strawberries, and kiwi are my staples year-round. Okay, so Renee, the biggest thing to look for, I'm going to give you one fruit to take action on and be aware of. Persimmons. Persimmons are coming. They are a fall fruit, and they are life-changing. They taste incredible. They're calorie-dense, so they're going to keep you satisfied, and that's also makes them sort of cost-effective, right? When you're kind of like paying for calories when you're buying food, right? In addition to nutrients, but you're going to eat a certain number of calories and a certain volume of food per day. And persimmons, they have that calorie density, which makes them super special. So I'd also suggest that you add papaya. If you haven't added papaya, it's a great staple because it's easy to get in America year round. Sarah says, is oatmeal good to eat? Okay, again, this is going to be in context with your goals and your specific situation. So again, that's why we're so passionate about coaching. That's what we do at Mastering Diabetes. We coach people through it's personalized coaching through all the details. Okay. And so oatmeal is very high in its glucose content, like the ratio of like fructose to glucose and sucrose and all that. It just happens to be really high in glucose. And that can be challenging for people in the beginning. So if oat groats are ideal, steel cut oats would be next. Rolled oats are going to be really challenging for anybody who's trying to optimize their blood glucose. Really challenging. For somebody who's insulin resistant, it's just going to be super hard. So be careful. Be careful with oats. And we sort of coach people through that in our program. What's the best fruits to eat, Luis? The best fruits to eat are the fruits that you love. The fruits that you will enjoy and will put in your body consistently, okay? Those are the best fruits to eat, no question. Is it okay to eat even when sugar is high if you're hungry? It's so confusing. Heather, I don't know your details, so it's hard to make a specific recommendation. I'm not sure exactly how high your numbers are going. I would make sure that you are in touch with a qualified physician. And they're helping you guide you through this, or a qualified coach, right? If you're super high, it's not a good idea to eat food. It's a good idea to move your body. And if you have to eat food, eat something that's, very low in carbohydrate at that point. If you're high, you'd want to eat like a very light salad or something like that. I'm nervous when it comes to citrus. Can I eat citrus? Oh, absolutely. This is a Cara, amazing variety. It's like pink and the flavor is outrageous. Flavor is outrageous. Okay. All right. Is it okay to eat even when? No, we already answered that. Okay, guys. This has been super fun. Again, if you're on Facebook, just comment guide and we'll get you the foolproof natural recipe guide. That's a free gift we're giving you guys. And it's going to help you reverse insulin resistance, understand the foundations of what we do here, and provide you with amazing, nutritious, delicious, satisfying recipes that will help you drop your weight, drop your A1C. Okay, actually, I'm curious. Last question, then we're going to go. Everybody who's here with us, in the chat box, I want you to tell me how many pounds would you like to drop? How many pounds? If you want to lose weight, just put 10 in the chat box. You want to lose 10 pounds. You want to lose 25 pounds? Put 25 in the chat box. If you want to lose 50, put 50 in the chat box. Okay? I'm just curious. Just want to know. And I do want to tell you that, if you got to get the guide. The guide's going to help you. But we have an entire program dedicated to people who want to lose weight. Okay? So we'll probably follow up with a lot of you here. But I see you guys. I see you. D wants to lose 100 pounds. Bonnie, 40. Ramona, about 30. Tommy, 50. Heather, 100. Okay, good. All right. Well, you guys have found the right place. We'll follow up with you guys. Make sure you're set up for success. And make sure you get your guide. So just comment guide and get it, all right? Hope you took notes on this information. Hope it was helpful. And I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week. I'll be back here on Friday. Same time, same place. I'm going to make my #1 salad dressing. I'm going to show that to you guys. We're going to be in the kitchen. You're going to get that recipe for free. And we're going to answer questions. And we're going to talk about salad dressings. We're going to talk about why oil is a problem. Okay. And what your options are. So again, just to be clear, if you're on YouTube, you write the word guide, you're not going to get the guide. You have to go to Facebook, or you have to go to our website and email us. You just contact us, team@masteringdiabetes.org, or you're going to have to go to Instagram. So if you want this amazing guide, that's what you got to do. You guys have a fantastic rest of your week, and I'll see you on Friday.